The mechanism for international criminal tribunals was established by the United Nations Security Council as the successor to the ad hoc tribunals set up in the 1990s to prosecute persons responsible for serious international crimes committed during the 1994 genocide in Rwanda and in the armed conflicts in the former Yugoslavia. Among other things, the mechanism is responsible for tracking and bringing to trial the remaining fugitives, providing support and protection to victims and witnesses, providing assistance to national jurisdictions seeking to try cases in their own courts, supervising the enforcement of sentences of those who were convicted, and preserving the archives of these two tribunals. As a judicial institution, the mechanism is also responsible for completing a limited number of trials and appeals, and for carrying out a wide variety of other judicial work. The mechanism has two branches and operates across two continents. The mechanism began its work in Arusha, United Republic of Tanzania, on the 1st of July 2012, and on the 1st of July 2013 in The Hague, the Netherlands. The mechanism's judges hail from 24 countries around the world, and with the exception of the full-time president, they work remotely and only when called upon to do so.
The mechanism's president coordinates the work of the chambers, oversees the monitoring of cases referred to national jurisdictions by the ICTR and the ICTY, and supervises the enforcement of sentences, including deciding on requests for pardon and early release. The chambers conduct trials, appeals, review, and contempt proceedings related to ICTY, ICTR, and mechanism cases. The chambers also adjudicate requests for assistance from national authorities.
The prosecutor and the staff of his office are responsible for tracking the remaining ICTR fugitives, prosecuting cases inherited from the two tribunals, and assisting national war crimes prosecutions.
Three of the senior fugitives would be prosecuted in Arusha in the event of an arrest, while the other five have had their files referred to Rwanda and, if arrested, would be tried in Rwanda. We regularly provide assistance to national jurisdictions in the Balkans, in Rwanda and elsewhere by providing access to our evidence collection and offering technical expertise when needed. As a result of these efforts, hundreds of cases related to crimes committed in the former Yugoslavia and Rwanda are currently being prosecuted in national courts around the world.
The registry is responsible for administrative, legal, policy and diplomatic support to both branches, as well as for witness support and protection, and for management of the archives. The ICTR and the ICTY combined have considered evidence from over 11,000 witnesses in the form of testimony and written statements. While most of the witnesses testified openly, many were granted protective measures. Some still require long-term protection. Since the opening of each of its two branches, the mechanism has assumed responsibility for support and protection of these witnesses, as well as for witnesses in ongoing cases before the mechanism.
The judicial records of the ICTR and the ICTY are the largest single collections in the archives. These contain all the documents related to the cases, including all the evidence presented in court and the judgments, as well as transcripts and audio-visual recordings of the courtroom proceedings. Altogether, the archives for which the mechanism will be responsible will amount to around 12,000 linear meters of physical records and about 3 petabytes of digital data. Our aim is to preserve these records so that they remain trustworthy, accessible and usable in the future.
By establishing the mechanism, the Security Council reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring accountability for those responsible for serious violations of international humanitarian law. It also acknowledged the valuable contributions the ICTR and the ICTY have made to international criminal justice and to strengthening respect for the rule of law. Today, the mechanism is building on the remarkable work of the ICTR and the ICTY, and making its own contributions towards a stronger international justice system.